Okay, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening. And today I'm going to talk about the book review that I will show you from presentation. So this is the reading for writing on the argumentative writing assignment. So let's go to the introduction, okay? So in this introduction, there's a title of the book. So there are critical literacy, critical teaching, tools for preparing responsive teachers. And the title of the book chapter is Chapter 1, Researching and Teaching with Literacy Teachers. And then the authors of the book, they are Terrell Dozier, Peter Johnston, and Rebecca Rogers. And then go to the publisher. The publisher is Teachers College Press, 1234 Amsterdam Avenue, New York, NY10027. And go to the publication year is 2006. And for the book pages is 210. Let's go to the next material, that is what is the book chapter about and why did you choose that? And then in this chapter, the author aligned between research and teaching agenda, which resulting on how important teachers' responsibility by developing assessment systems for productive evaluation of teacher education. And why did I choose that chapter? Well, the strong point is why I choose this chapter is directly to say the beginning usually contains the utmost important thing that needed to be remembered for the reading progress, as the first chapter explained the aim as why the book was made. This chapter provides brief information that will guide other chapter too. The next material is that what is the author's qualification and why is the author written the book? Well, the author's qualification is about how teaching is always aligned with research as the provider for future improvement and change to the reader that read the book. And then why has the author written the book? Well, the goal for this book written is particularly aimed specifically literacy teachers and the one who shares some ideas like the writer of the book or the one who is bit in the process of teaching, who prepare curriculum framework and made a way of theorizing and also thinking of extending their teaching. Next one is we're telling about the summary of the important issues in chapter 1. Pardon me for a moment. The first one is that a way of teachers' responsibility and as a reason why it needs to build up their own agenda. And then the second one is that emphasizing on problem solving and theory building perspective. And number third, approach to research that is consistent with instructional practice. Number four is that collaborative teacher research is productive for a number of reasons. One, because humans beings have a tendency to affect disconfirmatory, and a central stimulus for learning is the discomfort provided by disjuncture. And number five is that the book essentially for others like ourselves who are bound with teacher education and with whom we wish to share our thinking and our practice. And the next material is that what is the evidence or proof or example to support the argument? Well, according to Schuyler and Sitterly 1995, teaching of this class as an ongoing action research project, primary components of which include inquiring into one's own activity and situation, collaboration, and emancipatory or democratic intent. And then the second quotation is that Fishman and McCarthy 2000, in the efforts to do insider research, make the argument that their collaborative efforts have forced them to integrate the retrospective narrative and analytic stances on classroom research and that their work is the better for it. And next material is that how does the author apply their ideas in the book? Well, the author wrote it on their word, but still attaching and provide expert quote from the original book. The data inside of the book must be selected carefully that suit with the book content. And the next material is that what is the main argument or thesis of this chapter, and how is this argument developed by the author in this chapter? Well, the main argument of this chapter of thesis or thesis of this chapter is that the chapter mostly talked how related between teaching and research in order to improving teaching progress. And how is this argument developed by the author in this chapter? Well, the argument developed further by including expert quotation as how it supports their main point problem. The next one. What are the other theories from the authors to support the argument? Well, the theories that support author's argument is diverse but still intact with teaching book and reflect with how to improve, question the problematica and teaching methods. Okay, next one is that what facts and evidence that the author has neglected to consider? Well, there's one quotation that is good reason and actually acknowledge how important the book is. This one, the first chapter is that Handbook of Reading Research, volume 3. So the quotation is that how do we teach problem solving? Assignment and activities make sense. What beliefs are productive and how can we get to them? And how can we prepare teachers for the students they will face? Page 734. In this detailed quotation that has been brought in this book, I was supposed to follow up the quotation with a brief explanation as why that question is valuable for further information in this book and this chapter. And then the next material is that what are the weakness and strengths of the book? Well, the strength for this book is that to whom this book aimed to. It shows and directly purpose to teachers and anyone who has shares same ideas with authors in the book. Another thing that must be pointed out is that how easy to enjoy the arrangement of each segment for that first chapter provide to explain more inside the book. But the weakness is that this book has severe weakness, which is quotation that only inserted to be the proof and evidence without more explanation. Okay, it's short, and it is indeed explain some of the issues, but it is only limited to people who master to connect dots between point A to point B. Okay, let me explain of that. Not everybody can connect the dot between the statement A to the quotation B. It will be random to how people read it. That's why it's hard to some people, which conclude that the weakness for this book is that this book is not versatile for people to understand. Why? Because there are non-native speakers. We'll find it difficult because of this. And then the last is the book effective for a certain reader? Yes, the book is definitely effective for a certain reader because of the grammar and the high understanding for each content that has been provided by the author. Probably that's the least for me to explain the book review that I've been doing it. Thank you everyone and hoping that this become a knowledge for you guys. See you guys again. Bye bye.